Hi everyone, my name is Rida, and today I'm going to present a project what we have done in ethical hacking subject. And there are two topics what I would like to cover in this project. So the first one is Wireshark, and the next one is about Nmap, Ncat, and reverse shells. So now to start with Wireshark, let us actually find what Wireshark is. So we know that it is one of the packet capturing freeware tool so which helps us capture uh, all the packets, IP addresses, and also helps us to identify a pattern. So to just explain it, I just took a simple analogy of Wireshark versus a simple pizza delivery. So what generally happens is like I just need a pizza. I just dial a person, pizza delivery guy, and I ask them. I inform them that my name is Rita, and my address is, let's say, for example, Stromsburg 42, and so which is equivalent to IP address, which is known to the world. This is how my system would communicate with other machines. So that can be of IPv4 or IPv6, and MAC address is something what is present in my system. So whatever it's a physical address which comes at the time of manufacturing. So now to have an exact analogy to compare, like for example say that everyone in my family knows me as Alia then Rida, right? And now, when I just order a pizza, and then fortunately or unfortunately, it's an apartment with three different apartments in the same number 42, for example. So if it is 42A, 42B, and 42C, so IP address, tries to communicate with an external world and external world. Delivery guy has also reached, home with the pizza, but then he needs to know which address does he need to deliver it to. So is it 42A or B or C, right? So that is equivalent to ports, where exactly which tells us which port the communication has to be passed through. So now this is very simple. So every communication happens through an IP address and the MAC address and the port numbers. Now, where does a confusion or a problem occurs? This occurs when attackers actually gets to know which port is open and they try to attack that. For example, say that uh, you know a pizza delivery guy finds out that 42B the door is open and nobody is inside, like it's very good exposure for him to attack the house and then get things whatever they want to. So similarly cyber attackers also does the same thing, right? So now how do we prevent such attacks? So in this delivery analogy, like it's a camera what we can actually fix, and then we keep tracking all the videos and all the snapshots of whomever enters the house, whomever leaves the house. So likewise we can install Wireshark, and then we can start scanning all the ports, IP addresses, MAC addresses, and whatever communications which takes place there. So now, if you ask, like, if Wireshark could help me identify a pattern and also, will give me an alert, hey, there is someone who is scanning and there is some vulnerability exposed, probably no. So Wireshark is just going to help us give a scanning report, like camera does a scanning and then gives you the report. And we have to analyze and identify patterns. So we can do it through GUI or a command line interface. So now, based on this understanding, so we will just try to get into Wireshark, where I have already run it for the one of my internal IP addresses. So what I actually did is, let me open. So this is my IP addresses, right? So the first thing what I did is to identify what is my IP addresses, basically, right? So I know that 192.168.50.238 is my uh, physical IP address of this particular machine, Windows machine, and I know that my mobile uses an IP called 192.168.50.14. So this is my IP, and then my mobile has an IP dot 14. So I just tried to run an nmap. So nmap is a simple tool which actually scans all the ports. Means it goes and it finds out every port available, and it goes, knocks it, and then asks if that port is open. So it gives us a status report as what all ports are open. Then it is up to us if we want to leave it open or if we want to block it through firewall. So that comes next. So if you see this, when I did run this command 192.168.50.146, which is my Android mobile. So it says that, like not shown means there is one particular port which is called as 9080, which is open, and it also gives me the MAC address of this. So now while I run this, I had captured this in Wireshark. So the way we do it is just go start capturing packets, and then it asks you for, okay, it will ask you for the interface where it has to be connected. And since my laptop is now connected with Wi-Fi, I always choose Wi-Fi as a connection. So the moment I had run this, I get this IP addresses. So if you can see this, it's a 128. So the first thing what happens is ARP protocol, which runs, means it's address resolution protocol, where it goes, asks everyone, it broadcasts this mission, because I had run this command in this mission. So it goes and asks is, where is this IP 146. So obviously the right candidate to explain this is a router. So router contains a routing table, or otherwise address resolution protocol, which gives the information, hey, you have to connect through this device on this port and all. So now when this happens, then immediately it starts functioning for the feature what we have typed a command to nmap. Means it goes and tries to find out every port connections. So if you see that this is my source IP, and then this is my destination IP where I wanted to run nmap. So it goes and checks with every IP whichever is open. If you see this is a port number of source, and 3389 is a port of destination. So if you see this, there is something called RST. RST is actually a reset. It quickly denies, saying that, hey, this port isn't open. So this information is given by Android. So whenever this communicated with Android, so my Android mobile said that, hey, I'm not available in this port, and this is completely blocked. You cannot enter, because TCP always have a handshaking signals there. So this keeps happening, and then it keeps trying all the communications here. And then if you see that there are plenty of communications which happens, and every time when it asks for, so this has been returned with no, it is because the port isn't open there. So now what we can actually do is, to find out, or if I want to analyze as what could be done, so I just get into statistics, and I go to conversations. So in conversations, if I go to IPv4 maybe, I get lots of packets which has been connected here, and I go to TCP, because TCP is a communication what has been established here, because every time it tries through TCP port by default, if I do not specify any command or syntax here. So now here when you see this, like, we can actually find out the port number. I have sorted it because I'm interested to find out a port number 9080. So if you see this, interestingly, it gives you an analysis that there has been a handshake signal, sync, acknowledgement of sync, communication established, application data passed through. And that is the reason, if we see that there has been 5 transactions which has been successfully happened. If you see other communications, when it says one, it means that it has gone, it has hit, asking, hey, is port 121 open, is port 122 open, right? So when 9080 was hit, it has given an information that it has returned a response saying that this port is available, and that is the reason we could see that it has 5 different communications which has happened. So if I just need to find out more about it, then probably, I can just have this communication established, and I can see that these are the two things which has happened there. And now, getting back to the second command, that is ncat. Ncat is the one which actually checks. This is a command line. So the moment I know that, if there is some port open, the next thing as an attacker, what I would try to do is to try to see if I can penetrate through that port, and if I be able to communicate with that port. So then, just at the time of running ncat, I just again captured Wireshark, and I'll just remove all these filters. So if you see this, you will get to see that these communications has been happened, and then the result, you can see that no connections could be made. Means my Android mobile actively refused this connection, for security purposes, and that is the reason we can see that, like, the communication couldn't have been established in spite of trying it in number of times. So all these TCP communications actually has failed. So this is a small demonstration about Wireshark, and thank you.